everybody. Welcome to the Play Choices Podcast, a podcast you hear. My name is V.
Hi, guys. I'm the co-host, Lucas.
So this actually isn't going to be a full episode. We just kind of wanted to do like a little bonus to talk about the latest Choices Insiders that came out on June 3rd. So if you aren't subscribed to Choices Insiders, I'm going to include a link in the description of this particular episode where you can sign up for them. They come out on the first Thursday of every month. Previously was Fridays, but for whatever reason they transitioned to first Thursdays in the most recent release. And we're just going to just kind of go over, the updates that Pixelberry gave us about the app. So, Lucas, are you ready?
Yes.
So let's just go over kind of like the highlights. First things first, if you did get the Choices Insider, please take a moment to complete the survey that they did. The survey is just basically trying to gather some more insight on how players play, including like what gender you usually play, what gender of allies you typically romance. And I just think like it's important to kind of take those surveys. I know we like to get up on here and bitch about Pixelberry and bitch about Choices, but like there's no point in bitching about it if you aren't willing to give feedback so that way they know what they need to change. So if you are one of those people who has felt like dissatisfied about it, please go take the survey so that way you can make your voice heard. And I'll also include a link to the survey as well in the description of the episode. Even if you are pleased with what Pixelberry is doing, like let them know that you are so they can keep doing it. Let's just contribute our opinion, and hopefully, we'll see some more
Right.
of the suggestions and complaints we've had like implemented into future books. They kind of talk about Baby Bump 2. I feel like we've kind of briefly alluded to Baby Bump. We haven't actually played through it, so we haven't actually done an episode, but Baby Bump 2 did end in May, and it was the series finale, so Baby Bump 2 is only going to have 2 books, so at some point we'll probably read through it, but y'all know I'm not that excited about the plot of Baby Bump, so I don't know how long it's going to take us to get there. And also a very scandalous proposal was a previous VIP book, which is now available for all players, but they're only releasing it like 1 chapter a week. I think previously for VIP books, they've kind of released them all at one time. For some reason with AVSP, they're just releasing it 1 chapter a week. Not quite sure what the reasoning is, but that is now available for everyone to play regardless of whether you're like a free player or a VIP player. Now we get to the behind the scenes. Lucas, this is something I am very, very, very excited about. They start to talk more about kind of like the lineup of future books. And I'm pumped. I'm going to be honest with you. I saw this email. I said, oh, okay. Well, I'll just go ahead and read it straight from Choices Insider. So it says, coming soon to Choices. Get ready to embark on the trip of a lifetime. Paradise awaits you in the South Pacific. Beautiful beaches, breathtaking views, a sexy companion. There's just one problem. Did we mention you're stranded? Welcome to Shipwrecked. We can't give out too many details about Shipwrecked just yet. We wanted you insiders to get an exclusive sneak peek at some of the art. So I'll go ahead and for those of you who didn't get the opportunity to look at the art, I will post it. If you're watching on YouTube, it'll be on there. And if you aren't, you can go to our episode notes for this bonus episode, and we will definitely have that included on there. Isn't it nice?
It's pretty.
Kind of scary because there's a volcano in the background. I get nervous when I see volcanoes, but
having sex in that water?
We gonna take a dip in hot spring.
Ooh,
you know what I mean? A little bit waterfall.
I'm excited. Okay.
I mean, if you try to get stranded somewhere, why not get stranded in Paradise?
Why not get stranded there? No, that looks so gorgeous.
Yeah, no, it looks really, really good. Now I do know that Shipwrecked is going to be, unfortunately, a VIP only book. They didn't announce it like in the Choice Insiders, but I did see that someone reached out to support to ask like, hey, is it going to be VIP? And support did confirm that it actually is going to be VIP. But I mean, I think it's good. I know sometimes people get disappointed whenever they learn that a book that they're excited about is going to be VIP, but like also if you're paying an extra $15 a month for the content, shouldn't they be reserving like good books for VIP?
Yes,
like I just feel like to be fair to the people who are actually paying the $15, like it makes sense that they're going to reserve a book for VIP, right? I definitely think it's a book that I'm going to be really excited about. I'm definitely going to be excited when it becomes free so I can play it because I don't currently have VIP. So moving on to the frequently asked questions. So let's just go through this one by one. First one is the zombie book gender of choice? Which, yes, the zombie book is going to allow players to choose their gender. I do feel like they are producing like maybe, and I haven't done like I haven't run an analysis on that, so maybe someone could disprove me with numbers, but I just, from recalling recent memory, do feel like they're trying to implement more gender of choice books, which I think is great. Because definitely in my time interacting with the fandom since I've kind of rebooted the podcast, is there's definitely a lot of men who play choices. And I think it's great that they're giving men representation. Second question, oh Lord. Second question, okay, we have to know, is it really called zombies? Because y'all
we bitched about that. We
clowned them. We
we
clowned
clowned
them.
them. We roasted
Clowned them.
them.
Let's be honest, we clowned them. So they said, y'all thought we settled on calling it zombies. Now, Pixelberry, don't you act like you
Don't
weren't
do
fucking
that.
up
Yeah,
in the
please
first
don't.
6 months of 2021, okay?
Because please don't let us talk about your genres. Like, just please don't.
Yes.
Okay.
Don't make us talk about how you canceled a bunch of series all in one sweep. All I'm saying is we were hurt.
Mm-hmm.
We were
Mm-hmm.
damaged. Our relationship had
Mm-hmm.
been soured a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, when we saw your ass call it zombies, we thought you may actually be calling it zombies. And I will say I had this conversation with other people on social media. I think if they called it like Zombies Book, that would have been more obvious that that wasn't the actual title, but just calling it zombies, I was like, I know these bitches not about to call it zombies.
Yes.
So the zombie book is titled Wake the Dead, which I think is an amazing title. And makes me very hopeful that it's not going to be like romance heavy.
Yes.
I don't mind a little bit of romance in an apocalypse, that's fine, but like I don't want it to be like Eric, one of my Twitter followers. I've called him out on the podcast before. That's my boo. I like Eric. Eric and I are cool. But Eric said that he's hoping it's gonna be more like Dawn of the Dead or something and less like warm bodies.
Oh, that
Zombies.
is such a good comparison. Because Dawn of the Dead, there was no romance.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if you wanted to kiss, it was in the middle of getting chased by zombies, and then
And I
warm
want some
bodies.
heartbreaking zombie shit because listen, there
Yes.
is some other action books where people have like died. Like we have like the It Live series where your characters can die. I want some of that savageness, okay? I don't want none of this. Like in these zombie books, people get bitten, people turn, people die, we gotta leave people behind. I want it to be that type of real. You know what I mean?
Okay, okay. I want a diamond scene with the LIs where the one LI you choose, the next chapter they die. I want some juicy stuff like that. Okay?
Oh, Lucas
Okay?
trying to break people's hearts.
Imagine that. Like, imagine you really feeling the LI and you pick that diamond option and they get eaten by a zombie. Like, what?
I want a
Oh,
scene where someone gets bit and we have to like on the arm and you have to take off their arm.
right, right.
Cuz that happens to every single fucking zombie TV series. Someone gets bit and they got to save them by like removing a leg or something. That's what I want. I will say this is just kind of like a little bit of another thing. I don't think the Q&A episode is going to come out cuz we did record a Q&A that is coming out soon. But during the Q&A episode, I think I talked about how I didn't really want Pixelberry to like notice us. I know it's a lot of content creators like if you're making like content about a game, you would like the developer of the game to notice you. I'm actually don't really want them to notice. I don't want them to perceive me. I just can't deal with that pressure. I don't want choices to like notice us. But like I was on MartianKat's Twitch stream. If you don't know who MartianKat is the streamer. She typically for the past couple of weeks has been streaming like the It Live series on Twitch, and she just recently finished the book, so we're going to transition to a different choices book next stream. But I want to say she starts at like 7:30 EST is the time, so definitely it's twitch.tv/MartianKat if you do want to join in. I try to join every week because I think it's really entertaining. And she does these. She's an amazing voice actor. Can I just say she gets really committed into the roles. Like she changes her voice for very specific characters, makes it very entertaining to watch. But when I was tuning in to that Twitch stream, me and a couple of the other viewers were talking about zombies and how like Pixelberry basically clowned us for actually thinking they were gonna call it zombies. And so in the chat, I was like making a joke where I was like, I'm still gonna call it zombies. Like I want to call it zombies because I just feel like somehow they're gonna fit romance into it, and I'm like, what if it is warm bodies? Then I'm just gonna nickname it zombies. And can I just say that Pixelberry was in the Twitch stream with us, and I didn't know. And there is a moment where when I said that, Pixelberry responded, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna forward the retitle suggestion to our development team." And when I tell y'all, my heart dropped. And I said, not them catching me making fun of them in the Twitch chat. They were cool though. Like they were cool. Like I was freaking out. I think I typed something to them and I was like, "Oh hi Pixelberry" in all caps. And I was like, "I'm screaming right now." And they're like, "Hi Choices Podcast. Why are you screaming?" I said, "Please just ignore me. Love you though. Bye." Like I was like, "Please." So, if you see somebody calling it zombies on the official Choices, like Twitter or their social media, it may have been my idea. I'll just go ahead and claim it right now. Because they actually did see me say that. I was like, oh shit. I did not know Pixelberry was in here. And then the last question from the frequently asked questions section is, are Foreign Affairs and Open Heart 3 getting sequels? So they confirmed on social media a while ago that Foreign Affairs is going to be a standalone book. But they did say that the book lead behind Foreign Affairs is actually working on some other exciting titles for the app. So, I mean, we'll get an announcement eventually on it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Open Heart third year ended, I want to say last week at the time of us recording. And it is the last book in its series. So that is a series that we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the massive transitions that happened into that series. And so up next, they have a calendar laid out. So the Nanny Affair Book 2 is coming in June, which I'm actually really excited about. Lucas, I don't know how you're feeling about a potential sequel. We've only read up to chapter 10 at this point. So how are you feeling?
I guess it would really depend on the ending chapters of book 1 because, I mean, the way they can take one chapter and completely do a 180. I don't trust that like
Mm-hmm.
I can have like a comprehensive knowledge on like the last like 4 chapters. No, I'm gonna need like the last chapter, the last scene of the last chapter in order to get like a good feeling on whether or not I want a book 2.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I do feel like playing the Nanny Affair Book 1 is like whiplash.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
agree with
yeah.
you. I'm excited for it though. I am excited. Like it is my trashy romance novel. Also, shit. Let me find because we need to talk about this too. So since the Nanny Affair Book 2 was announced, I guess some people were able to go into the game files and pull the cover of the Nanny Affair Book 2, which it was controversial, honestly, in the fandom of whether or not people actually liked this title. And there were some people who were like, can I just say sometimes the fandom, I will say, like, I have found a really nice group of people to talk about choices with, but some of y'all toxic. Like, some of y'all on social media saying like, "Oh, if you like this cover, it's trash. You're trash. You have no taste." And there are other people who are like, "If you don't like this cover, then you have no taste, and you're like a virgin who like can't deal with sexual stuff." And I'm like, "Y'all, it's a visual novel app. If y'all don't calm the fuck down, y'all fighting like there's like you getting compensated for liking a book cover or not. Like, it's not that deep." But I will describe it and I'll go ahead and put a link to the book cover as well. So essentially it's a very, very sexual, like not safe for work cover. So I'm gonna put it on the screen in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That was your warning. If you're watching this in public, be careful because it's basically porn. But it's basically a cover of like the background is Anna and male Sam on the bed in front of
Mhm.
like an open window, so I guess the whole city can see. And Sam is behind Anna and he's basically gripping her titty, touching her thighs. She's in lingerie, Sam's in boxers, and it's very sexual. My kind of thoughts were that like I was kind of hoping we would get like a little bit more of like a hint at plot or something with the
Yeah,
cover, which like maybe asking for too much because it's just a
yeah,
cover, but like it's
yeah,
just sex. You know what I mean?
yeah. Like this isn't really much different than the book cover for the first one.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. And that's the only reason why this cover disappointed me was because, obviously we're with Sam already, so I don't know how much more you can sustain the plot with like a lot of sex. So I'm
Right.
curious to see what plot they're going to put in there outside of sex, but I feel like I'm speaking kind of out of both sides of my mouth when I talk about this cover because on one hand it's like it's a little bit disappointing, but then also it's like what else are we expecting? Because the cover is very similar to book 1 and we know that this book is like a trashy sex romance novel. Like we know that.
Yeah.
It's an erotica basically. And so it's like we can't really expect anything all that different
Right.
from the cover. And I'm just kind of interested in seeing like what they're going to do with the actual plot of the book. They have projected releases, which is going to be the Royal Finale that is going to release in July, which is the last book in the Royal Romance series that has been whew, dragged out. Dragged out to hell. I don't even know what they're. At some point, I had to stop reading because I said I don't give a fuck anymore. So, yeah, this book has been dragged the fuck out. I'm glad that it's ending because it needs to. Then we have Shipwrecked in August, which we said is going to be a VIP book, and then you have The Unexpected Heiress, which is a TBD announced date. That is, I think, a VIP book, and I think they're just gonna plan to release it to the public sometime in the future. And then later this year, we're going to be getting Queen Bee Book 2, which I'm also super fucking hyped about. Wake the Dead, also super fucking hyped about. And Crimes of Passion, also super fucking hyped about.
Yeah,
So,
no, later this year, yes.
yeah, later this
Yes.
year, let me tell you, the end of 2021, going to be hyped, bruh.
It's
It's
gonna
going
be
to be hyped. But yeah, that's pretty much all that we have to cover in this Choices Insiders. So thanks so much for joining us on this bonus episode. We hope to do maybe a few more like this, when the occasion calls for it. And then you can join us next week. We release new episodes every Saturday on pretty much every single listening platform that you can imagine: Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube. There's a bunch of other small ones that we release on too that I can't remember what their names are. But if you look us up, you're going to be able to find us. So we look forward to joining you guys next week. Bye bye.
Bye.